say goodbye. I'm not always polite, but I get the job done. Who says the world can never be fun? I'm simply unprofessional. Simply unprofessional. Yeah. Unprofessional. Yeah. I'm unprofessional.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Simply Unprofessional. I'm your host, Webby. Joining me tonight, we have Devin.
Hey everybody, it's me, Devin. I'm currently doing a speed run on how fast I can finish a 55-ounce bottle of Captain Morgan Mai Tai.
Nice. We got Rob.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob.
And he's dying.
I was dying yesterday, I'm fine today.
Uh-huh. Well, I got
The
over
sweet
death real
release of
quick.
death. It's
And
all
we
I
got
ever
Donnie
prayed for.
hiding in the wings.
Yeah.
He was also dying.
Hey, he's dying. I'm Donnie.
Oh, all right. So today, we didn't have anything really prepped for today, but since we're all on this call and we have all played it before, I should have moved us all down to the recording corner just so people would know, but oh well.
Well,
We've all played
we
a
might
game.
have unexpected guest stars, it's fine.
Yeah, fuck it. I know Devin had played this game a while back, and I know I had watched him play a couple times, and then me, Donnie, and Rob started playing it recently, but we're going to talk a little bit about the game DayZ, and it's a couple ups and many downs.
there's no such thing.
And after that, I don't know, we'll just kind of shoot the shit. And until
All right, well, I'm
the
going to start off with a question for all of you guys. Y'all get one answer, one guess. What online game, and if you know the amount of money, what online game holds the record for the most expensive?
EVE Online.
Yes, most expensive PvP. It is EVE Online. Do you know how much?
It's in the millions, if I remember right. That's all I got.
It's in the millions of game currency. Do you know how much that
Which
equates
is
to?
equivalent to millions of actual monies, right?
No.
Oh. Nope, don't know that
It's
then.
a substantial amount of money. I will say that. It's not millions.
Wait, I'm not
So,
understanding the question.
Sorry, I interrupted.
So you know how imagine in WoW,
Yeah.
you can buy armor and shit, right? And all other stuff. You pay for money for shit, right? Now imagine if on death it was permanently gone. So you have on December 30th and 31st of 2020, over 5,000 players engaged in a massive PvP battle, which has been called the Massacre at M2 XFE. It was a 14-hour ship battle that lasted 14 hours, like I said, and it was involved over 1,000 Titans, 400 super carriers, and 400 dreadnoughts. Amidst that battle, over a fourth of the Titans were destroyed, which is the largest ship type available in EVE. 6 of the super carriers were destroyed, 50 regular carriers, and 50 dreadnoughts, for a total of 3,404 ships lost or were destroyed over that battle. Now, if you buy these ships with real money, okay?
Okay.
Some of them you can work for, but it's almost impossible. You play the game every day. And in game, it cost them. That's a big number. $29,111,604,784,863 ISK, which is the in-game currency, which equates to USD $378,012.
For 14 hours.
Yes. So if you're doing math on that, that's 378,000 378,012 divided by 14. That is an average loss of $27,000 an hour.
Jeez.
We're lost in battle. Here's your random video game trivia for the day, folks.
All right.
So,
Wow.
if
I didn't know
you
that. I
have
didn't know the in-game
disposable
currency thing
income,
was so
you don't
high.
have EVE Online disposable income.
Well,
Now, if you want to talk
depends.
about toxic communities, EVE Online, I think, holds the record for the most toxic community of all time. Most toxic, like, PvP community.
Maybe I'll have that EVE Online disposable money if I win the Mega Millions this Friday.
Maybe. Yep.
The after taxes or whatever, the cash take home value of it is something like $707 million because it's up to like 1.35 billion right now.
Yeah, something stupid like that. I think at that point, even though everybody's like, it's so stupid, why would you ever do that? I would just take the annulity. Because there's like, even if like I reinvested all of that money, like when I got it into the market and did all that, and like, oh, well, you can gain more off just having that money, like investing it properly and having it. You'll invest more money. You'll never run out of money. Like you're never going to run out of money if you're remotely intelligent with your money, with that kind of money, with the annulty.
Yeah.
Which I mean, the annulty, I think it's something stupid like. Hold on. Let's do this. So it's up to. You said 1.1 billion?
No, it's 1.35 billion.
Oh, yeah, I see it right here. 134 billion. That's not right. That's not accurate in the slightest. Hold on. Oh, I got you. Mega Millions. Jackpot. Currently up to 1.35 billion. Cash payout is 707.9 million. But if you shoot the annulity on 1.4 billion, 1 billion, 400 million. For my state, who is Michigan.
You're talking about the one where they give you X amount of dollars each year for the rest of your life?
It's, yeah,
See,
effectively. It's not exactly the rest of your life.
I
It's like over.
I wouldn't do that.
Why is that?
Because I could drop dead tomorrow.
But I'm saying the amount of money you're going to get paid out, and you can actually like will the annulity to somebody else.
See, I didn't think you could. I thought they got rid of that. Like
no, you
years
can't.
ago.
It's still your money. You can. You're entitled to that money. I'm like fairly certain you can still do that.
I thought I had read something that if something happens to you, the rest of the cash that has not been paid out goes back into the state or something. I might be wrong, but I'd just rather have the 707 million.
Yeah, I would too, because I want to make a lot of people rich.
Yep.
My point is, I'm saying
I'd be dropping
you could
5
very
million into
easily,
a bunch of people's bank accounts, into a bunch
you
of
could
different
do
bank
that
accounts
with
for me.
what you get with the money. So basically, the annulty is you get your payout, right? You get your initial payout up front, and then you get yearly payouts for the next 20 years. Next 29 years. Sorry, the 30 years. Next 29 years, but each payment is 5% larger than the last payment. So on this particular one, your first payment is $21 million. So after taxes, federal taxes and state taxes come out, your first payment the first year would be $15 million. Then you have your first two payments. Then after that, your last payment would be $62 million down the line. I mean, so it depends on what you're trying to do, right? If you were, I would definitely be making people rich, but I would be making people rich in a more intelligent manner because I know the people I surround myself with, and if I gave them a lot of money, they probably would not last very long. And then they would be looking for more money. And that also really.
But that's an issue regardless of the amount you're taking out of the winnings, though. Like that issue doesn't go away unless you're just not going to give people money.
It does to a degree, right? Like, so if I set them up out of that annulity every year, if I set them up an account where, let's say, like I set, a family member I'm thinking about right now, if I set them up where I got them in a debt-free situation, and set them up an account where every year I drop, let's just say, $250,000, $300,000 every year. Probably more than that. I'm just saying, let's just say that's what it was into that account. At that point, if they blew all that in 9 months, then they're already debt free theoretically. At that point, I feel like I've done my part, and at that point, I'm looking at them and I'm going, well, you have to set up and survive until that next payout, because that's all you're getting from me at this point. Because you will get, there's so many random things that happen. But either way, no matter what happens, the first thing you want to do is hire a lawyer.
Yeah.
Because you will get sued a lot. And people don't realize you will get sued a lot. People are like, no, lawsuits don't happen. And they do, but they don't happen like that. And it's like, no, lawsuits happen all the time, every day, multiple times a day to like the same person. It's just, if you don't have enough money to make it worthwhile for people to sue you. You know what I mean? So like once you have money to your name and you have something of value, you immediately will start getting sued for dumb shit. Like if the random bitch down the street knows you fucking have money, she'll like fucking walk on your property and trip or some shit, and then you're getting like lawsuit papers for her extensive medical work, medical bills, and the fact that she's now agoraphobic and cannot go outside because she's afraid of nature, because your nature hurt her property. Your nature on your property hurt her.
Joke's on her. My property's posted as no trespassing.
You know what's really funny, though? There are some states, as dumb as that is, there are legally some states that if somebody breaks in your house and injures themselves in the process of breaking into your house,
they can sue you.
They can sue you.
Yeah. No, I've been told, okay, I don't know if I should be putting this on air. I've been told by somebody of authority, let's just say, a long time ago, that if somebody were to break into your house, you are better off, if you're going to defend yourself, if that crosses your mind, you're better off killing them than hurting them.
No, it's absolutely true. 100% true. And if you are going to kill them, make sure you're almost damn.
You keep cutting out.
You're better to kill them execution style and explaining that than you are to shoot them in the back. Sorry, you are almost better 100% of the time shooting them execution style. Like if it came down to like, I'm going to shoot you execution style or in the back, you're better off shooting them execution style. You will have a higher chance of getting off shooting them execution style than you will shooting them in the back.
Yeah.
As dumb as it is.
It is a really fucked up law. Like, I don't know, like... But the thing is, too, okay, so yeah, if somebody breaks into your house and then they hurt themselves and then they sue you, they can technically do that, but what jury is going to side with them on that?
It won't even probably be like a jury. It'll probably
I would request that.
You would request a trial by jury, which is fine. But I mean, this is kind of the flip side of it, though. It wouldn't probably. Well, they would probably get sued. They would sue you in civil court, which isn't a jury case. They take you to civil court for damages. I mean, they might end up going to federal court for breaking into your house, but they need to pay for those lawyer fees somehow. So they're going to sue you in civil court, and then take you to use that money to fund their lawyer fees. I mean, there's a lot of laws that are backwards. It make no logical sense, but whatever. Details. But anyway, DayZ, everybody. DayZ is what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're talking about DayZ today.
So, somebody was under the impression that DayZ was like a mod pub. It was not. DayZ originally as a mod came out in 2013 for Arma 2. Arma 2 is still possibly the greatest military game around, if not actually. No, it actually is. not my personal favorite military game. My most personal favorite military game, I think it's called Operation Red Dragon. I'm dying.
Command and Conquer.
I do love Command and Conquer. Don't get me wrong. I think it's the hold on.
Battleship.
This is another tangent. This is another tangent thing, but is it? It might be Operation. Fuck, what is it called? Not Enlisted. Not Red Orchestra. War Game Red Dragon. Really fun game, but not what I'm talking about. Squad. Really fun game, but not the game I'm thinking of. Armor 3. Yup. Command Mobile Operation. Fun too, but also not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of what the fuck is it? It's not Insurgency. What is that game? It has like realistic, like super realistic bullet drop and everything else. But anyway, the Arma series, great games. Highly recommend. Back on track with DayZ. DayZ mod. I played it back when it was a mod, and it was a terrible. It was a good game, terrible experience. I pre-ordered DayZ actually to give you an idea. Way back as the game in 2013. And yeah, and that was it was a fun time. It was basically you spawned on an island at the time, and there were a bunch of other players, and it was supposed to be like, yo, you're gonna spawn on here and team up together and be like human survivors in the apocalypse. And it became whoever spawned in on the island, if you found or could make a weapon of some type, you just kind of ran that island. You just kind of ran that area, because when anybody else spawned in and you had a weapon, you just kind of let them, like, stalk them and let them get enough shit and then be like, yo, run me your shit. And if they didn't, you just killed them and took their shit. And they'd spawn in again, and they would do the same thing again. You would do the same thing again. And you just accumulated more shit. And that's kind of how it was. It was dog eat dog world. I trusted zombies more than I trusted people.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 out of 10, it was a fantastic, realistic, allegory of life. But yeah, 100%.
Well, I will say, at least our playing of it, we rented a server. We didn't want to have to deal with other people. For that exact reason. You know, it was our first time playing, and, for everything that I had read and fucking everything that we experienced first going, the game is fucking hard enough without these people who have put in fucking 18,000 hours on the same server who are just going to do exactly what you just said, just run up and just be like, hey, give us all your stuff, and then they're going to shoot you anyway. So...
But not in the back, because they're going to get sued.
Yeah.
Oh! Full circle.
So, yeah, we decided to play on a private server, and, we ran into some issues that was definitely killing the enjoyment for at least me for a long while. But we ended up putting some mods on the server and stuff to try to make things a little bit more enjoyable, to have fun, to be able to actually look forward to wanting to play the game.
What were the issues, out of curiosity?
Oh man, fucking disease.
Oh.
I did all sorts of research. Donnie did all sorts of research. Apple did all sorts of research. Found out, okay, I had some sort of fucking disease, and then they're like, well, you need to eat charcoal tablets. So I was like, okay. It took me forever to find charcoal tablets, but I did. I ate one. Didn't do shit. And then Donnie's like, well, no, you need to eat charcoal tablets and have your food and water maxed out and be warm. So you have to do it near a fire. So I did that. Didn't do shit. And then I read somewhere, oh, well, the longer you have this disease, the more tablets you need to take. And this guy was saying how he had the disease and he was barely just staying alive, and he ended up having to eat like 26 charcoal tablets under those same conditions to get rid of it. It's like, no, I'm not fucking. It took us fucking forever to find a package of 3 charcoal tablets. I'm not fucking doing this. This is asinine. People are just gonna keep dying to disease. It's
My
stupid.
question is, what disease did you contract?
I don't know. Donnie had one where he was just vomiting everywhere. I had one where I
mean,
could
the only
barely eat
diseases that I
anything.
think are in the game, like, are like long-term diseases,
No.
are like cholera. I think there's salmonella.
That's the one I think I had. But
So you were just eating uncooked or raw meat.
well, I ate with bloody hands is the thing.
Oh yeah,
So I didn't
you can't
wash
do
my
that.
hands.
No, so you didn't have that. Then you probably had
But even the
man.
colds and stuff don't go away on their own. And I thought I had food poisoning. Actually, is what I thought I had. Because it was labeled as food
poisoning
poisoning.
is pretty chill.
No,
there's
it's not.
too much.
Because those were the only symptoms I had, was the fact that if I ate or drank too much, I'd vomit it back up. And I'd have a cough or some sort of gagging thing. We checked the temperature. I had a whole list on a website of exactly what illnesses had what conditions and what temperatures and what was supposed to alleviate them and this, that, and the other thing. And it just was not going away. And I was like, this is bullshit. If it was food poisoning, that shit would just naturally run its course.
Yo. Well, I mean, yes, yeah. If it was food poisoning.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
that
diseases,
was one of the issues I had.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the worst one.
I don't mind like certain like infections or things like that, but like where it's like, oh, you need first aid. You need a specific item. Go hunt down this item. You take it. It'll get rid of this. Like in 7 Days to Die. If you're bitten and you're infected, the infection increases the longer you have it, obviously. And the more things that you do can make it go faster. And then once you get high enough, you die.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so you have
you can just go in and just
real quick.
You can just go in 7 Days to Die and eat an antibiotic or whatever, and that cures your infection. Well, it will lower your infection if it's too high.
Right.
Well, I mean, but there's no indicator on this game.
Like, the whole point. Well, that's the whole thing, right? That's the whole point from like a DayZ perspective, which is it's more of in a way of like a hardcore survival game in the sense of that, and the fact of you're dropped in Russia or whatever, but you're kind of taking on the role of a regular fucking person. This shit has been going on, so a lot of supplies are already kind of taken, or people left and took supplies with them. So you're already working on a limited scenario. You got that going for against you. You're kind of dropped in as the layman, and you got to kind of learn it as you go. So, unfortunately, it may take you 3 or 4 laymans before you start to learn things sometimes.
Well, it'd be one thing if you got sick, like they were reading stuff and they're like, oh, use the thermometer. And Rob had a thermometer. So I used the thermometer, that just tells you your temperature. That doesn't tell you what disease you have. It'd be different if they told you, if there was some way other than just guessing at exactly what you have and exactly what you need, and just taking that stuff will cure you.
Oh.
But it's fucking... It was ridiculous.
Yeah, but usually for like salmonella or food poisoning,
I'm just glad it wasn't the brain-eating disease or whatever the fuck.
No, that one's permanent, and that's basically death. Just don't eat people, and you're probably good. Yeah, charcoal tablets, multivitamins will build your immune system up if you find them, and if you keep your immune system high enough up long enough, and you don't have a flare up, it should go away on its own. Way to prevent that is do have to eat and drink in smaller amounts, but obviously that does limit what you can do throughout the day because you can't eat and drink as much as somebody who's like out adventuring for all day until it's dark and they're going through, multiple canteens of water and multiple packs of food. You're probably going to limit yourself down to like half and half of each of those. So, yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed DayZ in terms of that perspective. But I rarely contracted disease because I learned pretty quickly that like, oh shit, like you got to wash your hands, you got to make sure your shit is cooked. In fact, before I like mastered cooking when I was on DayZ, I just burnt everything. Like I'd rather get less nutritional value for this than undercook it and get sick. But yeah, anytime you find like extra, I would usually always keep a tetracycline pill on me. I would always try to keep a pack of charcoal tablets on me. Anything else after that, I would just put it. Anything we found, we would just store it. We would store it for like in back at our base, and because you may get to a point where you may need like multiple, like you were saying, you need to take like a bunch of these things. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you got cholera. That one's the big one. That's the one where that's probably honestly what you did have, which was cholera. That's from drinking the contaminated water or eating and drinking with bloody or bare hands. With bloody bare hands. Another thing, always do wear gloves if you can find them. Usually a priority. I always wear gloves and I take them off when I eat. If I'm not where I can wash my hands. Or have food gloves, one of the two. And like have gloves either to wear while you're out fighting or gloves to just eat with, one of the two, or both. You want to be extra precautious. Chemical poisoning is special. You want to drink some alcohol or drink some gasoline, you can. I don't know why you would drink gasoline, but you want to, you can.
I did one time.
Doesn't surprise me.
I wanted to empty the jerry can. And I had already fueled up the cars and the generators.
The hemolytic reaction. Yeah, brain disease is permanent. That's just what it is. Which is funny because yeah, cholera is the most common one. So, if you can find them, you got to keep chlorine tablets. Chlorine tablets, or if you are around fire, you can boil your water before you drink it, or use it in a water pump. That's it.
See, now how long did you play this game for?
I played it by myself when it first came out for a while, like on and off, probably like a year, a little over a year. And then they kept saying they were going to release it. And then they just never did. So I stopped. Then I got back into it like maybe 2-3 years ago played that for a little bit. Yes. Oh, 1 second.
Well, Rob and Donnie, I'm glad we have the mod where we don't have to worry about disease, because that was the worst.
Yes.
You put a motto to take off disease?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
It was literally the worst.
It's not the worst. Like, so like even like when me and Avalos played for like that like 2-month period when me and Avalos played, and I was like showing him the ropes when I was playing, like I think I contracted disease like one time, and it was like, oh shit, I meant to clean that water, but I was like dehydrated, and I found some water, and I didn't have any, so I drank it, and then I just like went back to base and like healed myself like immediately. I've never had a problem with that, like ever.
We were getting
I'm very happy for
all
you.
the time. And you just went through the list of having to have extra gloves and taking gloves off to eat and putting them on. Why?
You don't have to do that, but the thing, if you're like extra precautious and you do have that, that's one of the why I usually will go raid the hospital when I first get there. Yeah, it's a lot of zombies around there, but if you can raid the hospital,
That's the thing.
usually
So we started off in some southern city, right? It was Chernogorsk or something like that. Cherno, yeah. And I would raid that hospital every other day in game. And I think out of all the times that we've played, I found 2 packets of charcoal tablets, one of the tetracycline things, and I've found several of the chlorine tablets, but never at the hospital.
the biggest things to raid at the hospital usually, if they're still there, if they're still around, are the ambulances. Usually, you can find good stuff inside the ambulances that have been ransacked. The staff parking lot, a lot of the stuff in the trunk. So the cars in the staff parking lot will have like bags and shit of stuff in there, or like first aid kit bags. Yeah, there's a couple different things you could pick up from there. But like, yeah, like if you have gloves, if you knew to do that and you had gloves, like if you're not in a spot where you like clean your hands all the time or whatever, I just always use wear gloves. So then I can take my gloves off and eat. Obviously, like in the moment, like if you're like about to die and you're like fucking fighting your way down the fucking like trying to fight your way out of a building and you're like by yourself and you're about to die, like you need food to heal yourself or you're right about to starve to death. Like obviously, like yeah, you may just sometimes say fuck it, I'm eating it. I'll take the risk. That's usually why I try to, if you can find multivitamins, I take those like daily to keep my immunity up. So if I do something like that, I have a lesser chance of contracting a disease.
Now, is there a way that you can look at your stats as far as like what your immunity's at and stuff like that?
So it's all built into. I'll show you. Hold on, your immune system. If I'm not mistaken. Where is it at?
Because I'll be honest, we hit the we've been having issues with this game since our boots hit the ground essentially, and if it wasn't diseases, once we got rid of those, it's been something else, and then if it wasn't that, it's something else.
Ran out of blood.
That was a fun experience. I watched Rob die.
No, bleeding sucks. Like if you're bleeding, you have to fix that shit immediately. Also, if I'm not mistaken, bleeding cuts your immune system in half. So you have a higher chance of contracting shit. I'm trying to think, is there a stat for immune system?
But I mean, there's going to be a bunch of questions that I have for you since you have played this game a lot. But like,
I'm trying to think because they did like do like a UI overhaul a couple times. I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's an actual stat for it. I don't think there is. There might be, but there might not be. But yeah, I know. I know if you're cold, if you're too cold for too long, you're low health for too long, all that shit lowers your immune system. And there are some viruses that just say fuck you and just ignore your immune system and you just get it. But it does help.
Yeah, the immune system is why I was saying you want to stay near the fire, make sure you're full and not thirsty and all that kind of shit, because that's what they were suggesting on the forums.
Yeah.
It's a core survival stat. But where is it at?
Now, when you played on a private server too?
Yeah.
Because fuck other people?
Yeah.
With that, I'm assuming there's certain items in the game that just can't be repaired?
Yes and no. There are certain items in the game that items have like a. So certain items can be repaired, but like it's hard. Like every item is not. It's like not a thing that like it's listed, but like every item can't be repaired indefinitely. Like you can repair something so many times, and then eventually it's going to just break and be like, "Fuck you!" Like I'm not coming back.
Okay.
So,
Now, but things like, so like I picked up like a cooking pot or some shit that was damaged. Is that something like there you can't repair that? There's no item that you can use to repair that. I don't even know if that actually loses durability when you use it.
It can if you leave it on the fire too long and you burn it, that stuff will eventually get damaged. But no, like that kind of stuff you can't repair.
And jerry cans you can't repair.
Yep.
I'm assuming
those kind of items you can't. You just got to find new ones.
God.
But I know, like I also So the immunity stat is the hidden stat, but it's a combination of your main 4 stats. So it's a combination of your health, your blood, your energy, and your hydration levels.
Okay.
If you're at 95%, if you're above 95%, you're immune to influenza, the common cold, cholera, and salmonella. If you're between 65 and 94%, you are immune to influenza and the common cold, so you can get cholera and salmonella. And then anything below 65, you're immune to nothing. So, like, let's say, for instance, and to give you an idea, like the 95 threshold, if your blood is max, let's say you get 90, and let's do the threshold here. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, your energy is maxed out at 5,000. Your hydration is maxed out at 5,000. You're at 90 health, and you have a blood of 4,500. You are under the 95%. So it pays to be like maxed out. Oh my god!
Look at that! Now that we're recording, everyone's reaching out to Devin.
Right, and I'm not answering that phone. All right. Anyway. But yeah. So it's active work to like keep yourself. DayZ a lot of time is stat watching. You're just stat watching a lot of the time in DayZ. It's unfortunate. Like that's probably the suckiest part about the game is a lot of time you're stat watching because like the biggest things is like So like if you know you're going out or you know you're about to do something that's questionable, if you have vitamins will boost your immune system stat to 100% for 5 minutes.
Okay.
So if you know you're doing something questionable, like if you know you're like, shit, I don't have any cool things to do. It's like very questionable water, or I'm about to eat this raw chicken because I'm hungry. I don't have time to cook, and I got zombies chasing me. Let me pop this vitamin real quick and then eat this raw chicken.
Like I had said when we added the mods to the game, like we did add the mod where it removed diseases because we were struggling just to learn the fucking game. And like I had told them all, I was like, hey, if this starts getting too easy, then we'll consider putting that mod off and going back to using the diseases and stuff.
And I will fully admit how I learned to play this game is an unfun way to learn to play this game. I will admit that, especially with friends.
Just dying over and over again.
Well, no, not just that. Like diving in and dying a couple of times, but then getting tired of dying and saying, you know what, I'm going to figure this shit out. But back then this was still new, so there wasn't a lot of like resources to go tap.
Right.
So it was just you diving in, and then I literally just did like small shit over a long period of time. So it was like, hey, all right, this is my base. This house in this area is my base. I am not going past this point on this map. I'm going to go just search these areas, and I'm going to like learn how to repair shit and learn how to craft, and I'm going to just like get what I need and do it that way, and just build what I can. If I can't have the tools or whatever I need to do that, then yeah. I did not like go out and try to learn everything at once. I just learned everything like I just chipped away at everything at a time. But obviously that's kind of a boring way to learn the game. Going, 5, 5-6 days of playing this game for like 6-7 hours a day after school or whatever, or after work. Well, maybe after work, after college, depending on the day of the week, whatever. But learning the game and then being like, all right, I'm gonna just do this. But I played the game for 6 hours and then didn't really do anything. You know what I mean? Just kind of meandering around.
Well, I feel like that's
a very boring way to learn the game.
I feel like that's what Donnie's issue is currently. Donnie, you can speak up, but I know you had said earlier. It seems like every time we do hop on, if we have a game plan of something we'd like to try to accomplish, something always fucking happens and we can't do it. We just never get around to doing what we want to do. It's always putting out this fire or this fire or this fire, hypothetically.
Yeah. Devin kind of summed up how I feel. Like, good game, I've had a bad experience. Like that's my honest opinion of it.
Yeah, I mean, so the game gets pretty good. If the game operates in its best when you have a group of people who have gone through the growing pains of the game, kind of know the do's and the don'ts, and are pretty good at being self-sufficient, because then you can have 3 or 4 people tackling tasks individually around the globe, around the map.
Yeah.
So like splitting the party, or like you can do teams of 2. Like even like me and Avalos like meandered around. Like I was teaching him like some small stuff, and I was teaching him like enough. Be like, all right, well here you go here and do this. I'm gonna go here on the other side of town and do this. But like, oh hey, I'm gonna go raid the police station and get weapons. Like, go get guns. I know they spawn there. I have a gun if I need to use it. I don't have a silencer, but I have a gun if I need to use it. I'll go do this. You go raid these other houses on the other end of town, which aren't very zombie filled, but usually will spawn supplies. If shit hits the fan and I don't come back, just forget about me. I don't exist. I'd rather you have because I'm going in like Spartan with like fucking just a couple of bandages, like no supplies, and like one gun, just to be on the safe side. So like I'd go in, I'd do stuff, because also I need the inventory space to carry back guns. So yeah. And then like one time I got trapped with a bunch of zombies and I just got stuck on the roof for like the equivalent of like 2 days.
Damn.
But whatever. I had a tent.
You had a tent. Okay.
Now, okay, so
I made it work.
One question I have: the crafting system in this, it's not very extensive, is it? There's not really a lot you can do as far as crafting goes.
Yeah, it's not like the most in-depth like crafting system. I mean, it's definitely something you can learn to do. Like, you learn how to make rope. Like rope is 6 and 6 bandages, 12 rags make a rope.
Right.
You can make short sticks utilizing sticks and a knife, or like a long stick and a knife. You can make short sticks. You can make planks by using a saw and wood. You can make burlap strips with I think a knife and a burlap sack. You can do, it's like common sense stuff, right? Like
right.
You can make metal wire by using, I think it's barbed wire and wire cutters. You can, yeah. Then there's like the other side of that. There's like the weird side of it. Like you can also make a rope from using animal guts and a knife.
Yep.
You can do that. There's a couple different things you can go about doing that. You can make protective gear. Like it's all very like head forward thinking crafting.
But
like it's simple, but it's like, oh, that.
But you can't make important things.
Define important things.
Like duct tape.
Well, I mean, technically no, but I mean, like, if I stranded you somewhere and it's like, yo, find some shit to make duct tape, you probably wouldn't, or you'd be like, I could do that, or I could just craft rope, and I could make some rope real quick, which would be more beneficial
and use that
and
to
easier
hang
to
myself.
use. Or that, yeah.
No, I get
Yeah,
it.
like,
I
you know,
get it. It's
like-
just like it gets to a point where it's like
It's not like
the
no,
most
it's definitely
important
not
crafting
a-
stuff that we've done so far is we found a place to make a base, and Donnie has started crafting gates to close it in.
Yeah, like gates, like the watchtower kit, which is four short sticks. Let's see if I remember this. 4 short sticks.
I got us more flags,
Nope.
Donnie, but no pirate
I think
flags
it's
still.
yeah, it's 4. Yeah,
I'll
4
figure out
short
how to make a
sticks.
flagpole.
4 is, or is it 6? I don't remember.
I think it's 4 for the 2 for walls, 4 for tower. I think.
I thought about watchtower kit. I think it's 4. Yeah, 4 for a watchtower kit. It's 2 for a fence kit. You can make a little bullshit tarp shelter with 4 long sticks and 4 tarps. I know doors are 8 and 16, or crates. I mean, are 8 and 16, which are super helpful.
Yeah, but barrels are better. I remember you
They
taught me
are.
that.
You can find them and move them. Yeah, barrels are great. Another great reason for the hospital. There's barrels pretty much everywhere. Barrels are like infinitely useful because you can just fucking make fires in them. You can do pretty much everything with a barrel. Everybody needs a 50-gallon drum. 50-gallon drums are useful.
55-gallon drums.
My bad. Yep.
Great storage container. What? Oh,
You can make a hand drill.
That's for starting a fire, right?
Yeah. That's just oak bark and a short stick.
Now let me
Easy
ask you
stuff.
this, Devin, because you have played. What's better for cooking wise? If we were gonna hop on after SU and we wanted to make a little cooking area, all right? Because the base we have, we're currently in an airplane hangar. There is no actual like stove.
Okay.
Would you recommend a 55-gallon flaming barrel for a cook fire? Would you recommend us going to get the 16 big stones or whatever to make that stove? What would you do for a
that
cook
stove?
fire?
So the thing with like that actual like the fireplace stove. The fireplace stove is like super. I actually quite enjoy the fireplace stove. Or you could do the stone ring version of it.
Can you still smoke things on the barrel fire? Can you still upgrade that to smoke things?
I believe you can.
I've never wasted a barrel to do that
At
yet,
one
and I've
point,
been
you used to
scared.
be able to. I know that. I don't know if you still can. They may have taken that out and to make the stone oven like more desirable. But
Why
yeah, the
can I
stone
not
oven
make
usually-
pizza?
The stone oven is like ideal. Usually, I would go with that. I mean, the barrels are really nice and they're great. But yeah, medical tools always nice to do. Like a saline bag, always nice. IV blood bags, just make sure you have the proper blood type.
How do you find that out?
Your blood type?
Yeah.
Is it still listed in a stat, or you just gotta fucking figure it out through? How do you find that out? Hold on a minute. Now I gotta remember. I think it's
Because we had an issue the other day. Was it yesterday?
yeah.
Or
You have to
the
use a
other day?
kit. You have to use a kit. You have to use a
Okay.
blood testing kit.
Well, here
That's
we
what I
had,
thought. I was trying to remember. I'm like, is it a stat or you have to figure out a blood testing kit?
we
I've
had
never
Not the
seen
blood
one of
testing
those.
kit.
we had an issue the other day. We were at another smaller airfield, and I drive the truck because we got one of those the M3 trucks,
Shocker.
right? And I don't mind going slow, though. When you're going uphill in first gear and you're only going 3 miles an hour, it's slow.
Yeah.
But I was getting logs and filling logs into the back, and Donnie ran off, and then he'd say, "Fuck, I'm bleeding again," and he didn't have any bandages, so I'd run over to him and
I
I'd
used
wrap
them
his
all at that
wounds.
point because every hit I took, I was bleeding again.
Yeah, so I'd run over and I'd wrap him, and then I'd run
Yeah.
back and start
Also,
putting logs
to
in.
answer your question, I was just double checking my answer real quick. Sorry to cut you off, but answer your question. Fire barrel usually is, while it doesn't have as much room as a stone oven, is preferable if it's going to be in an outside setting because you can use it
As
while
long
it's
as
ready.
it stays lit. Yeah, I didn't know that part.
It
But we're
stays
inside,
lit and you
though.
can't
Yeah, we're
still smoke
inside.
on it. It only has 4 smoking slots and 3 cooking slots.
As opposed to the
that-
oven having what?
The oven, I believe, has. I think it's double that.
Oh wow.
Tell you a sec. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the oven has more than that. I'll tell you one second. I'll tell you how many it has.
And do you have to empty those? somehow? Like, I read something about ashes building up in them or some shit, and you need a shovel.
I think ash will take like a spot when your crafting spots up. Yeah, you gotta just take those out of there. It's not like a issue.
And what is it? 16 stones for one of those ovens, Donnie?
For a stone oven,
16
it's...
large stone.
And they don't stack.
They didn't in my inventory.
No, they don't. They're hard.
I'm gonna go get you enough stone to get fucking 3 ovens made.
Jesus. While you're at it, get planks and nails.
I'm working.
Yeah, so a stone, so a stone
planks.
oven can have a stone oven can have 3 cumulative cooking pots, frying pan attach. You can't pick them up either, so they're kind of like permanent.
Can you destroy them once they're down?
You can take them. You have to take them apart to move them. So there's that.
Okay, that's fine. I think I already know where I'd want it to go anyway. Anyway, back to our issue the other day. Okay, Donnie bleeding out constantly while I was trying to get wood. And then I see him come running over to me, and then he just collapses on the ground. He passes out. I was like, okay, so I go over and I resuscitate him, and I'm force feeding him food to try to get his health to regen, to try to get his blood to regen. And then he kept passing out and just kept passing out. Then finally I was like, go sit in the truck. He'd sit in the truck, then he'd pass out in the truck. Finally, he stripped all of his stuff off, threw it in the truck's inventory, and then just went running out into the field because he's like, I'm just going to die and respawn somewhere. And then I ended up running him over with the truck and harvesting his body. But yeah, so when somebody's bleeding out to the point of like literally losing consciousness, that's where like the blood transfusion kit comes in if you share the blood type.
Yes. So yeah. So if there's somebody's bleeding out to the point of like they're they're really to the point of that, your best thing you got to do is you got to just go ahead. You got to grab, like, stop the bleeding, obviously, and then you would use a blood bag and give them a IV if you have the right blood type.
Okay, and you need to use an item to find out what blood type you are.
The blood testing kit, yes, and then you got to. There's a couple different things. There's a blood testing kit.
Right.
Then there's a blood collection kit,
right,
which you can use to collect blood from yourself or somebody else, and then turn that blood into a blood bag for later.
Right. And so it's gonna suck if we find one of these blood testing kits, because right now it's just me, Rob, and Donnie on the server, and if we're all different blood types,
well, I will say this:
if
you test to be A,
one
AB
of them's
positive,
universal, right?
AB positive is a universal recipient. It can receive from anybody, and O negative is a universal donor.
O negative.
It can donate to anybody.
Right.
So that's cool. But so if you're AB positive, you're a universal recipient. So you're just like the whore of the blood world. You can just take anybody's blood. No big deal. But there's a whole chart here. So if you're like A positive, you only can take from the O's and the A's.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys should just be positive.
That is the one thing about being positive. Like, I will say this: being a negative blood type is an issue.
Unless you're O negative.
O negative is no. O negative sucks ass.
But you can only
get it from O negative. Yeah, it's shitty. So basically, if you're O negative, if you test your blood and you're O negative, you want to find a blood collection kit and make your own blood bags. One, because you can give it to everybody, but also two, because you're the only person that can replenish your own blood at that point.
Great. We're gonna log on and we're gonna find one of these testing kits and we're gonna find out that I'm O negative. So my job is gonna be to sit at the base for 5 days and just draw blood into bags.
Yeah. Also, I'm sure you guys know that different locations of wounds will accumulate blood loss differently. Correct?
I did not know that.
No.
You didn't know that? Okay.
Nope.
So, injuries to your hands and feet, you lose. It's 36 blood loss. 36 blood loss per minute. Arms and legs is 216 per minute.
Now,
and
hold on.
Anything to the head and chest,
When you have full blood, how much blood do you have?
5,000.
5,000 on a full blood. Okay.
Full blood. Yep. And
I'm writing
and
that
that's
down.
per bleed stack, by the way. And that's
Yeah.
if you have 4 bleed stacks to your chest, you're gonna die in like 5 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
Because actually not even that, like 3 minutes, because it's less than 25,000 you die, or 500 you die. So you got your hands and feet is 36 blood loss per minute per stack. Arms and legs is 216 per minute per stack, and then head and chest is 360 per minute per stack.
Now, with the exception of receiving a blood bag, how do you get blood back? Just over time?
I believe you do gain blood back. Let me see. But I know you used to be able to just like chill. Yeah, yep. I believe you do get some back. Yep, you will slowly recover naturally, but you have to stay hydration and hunger. You can speed it up with a saline bag or a transfusion. You move faster if you give yourself saline or that. But you got to do a lot of stuff for that to work, and it will take a while. Like it will literally take you. Like if you go down to like the less than 3,000s, which is probably where Donnie was at.
Donnie's blood drop was blinking. It was red.
He was right around death because less than 3,000, your blood icon will flash red and you will randomly fall unconscious.
Yep, that's what he was doing.
And then less than 2,500, you die. So he was right around
right in the sweet spot.
You're right in the sweet spot. So basically, if you bandaged you up, stopped the bleeding, and you went and just laid down, and like relaxed, and made sure you were well fed, you probably would have had to sacrifice 20 minutes in real life. You probably would have got back enough to be functional again. But at 5,000 blood, you're good. Less than 4,000, you can be knocked out easily by blunt force trauma.
Okay.
Including zombie melee attacks.
That happens a couple times too.
Yep. At less than 3,500, your vision, color, and hearing begins to fade.
Now, what's with the zombies won't attack you when you pass out?
I don't think they do anymore. No, they don't. They used to. If I'm not mistaken, when the game first was out, they used to. There was like people didn't know the shit. And nobody would do anything because you have people just passed out and they would just die immediately. So I think they took the shit out. Yeah. And always keep rags and bandages. Always.
Yeah.
That's a very important thing. Always.
Yeah.
Bandages over rags because they stop bleeding better, but I mean,
yeah, they apply faster too.
Yeah, they do, and they are more effective in general. So yeah, because like even though it's like it's weird because even though you lose like those even though your head wound you'll lose 360 per minute, right? It ticks by the second. It's minute. Like you lose that much per minute, but you will still be losing blood like per second. It's not like every minute you're gonna just they count it. It counts it every second, so it ticks every second. But that's how much you lose in a minute's time.
Right.
So
like hypothetically,
stacks,
if you were losing 60 blood a minute, you'd be losing 1 blood every second.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you look at how long it takes to apply bandage. So if you have enough damage, like if you fall off a roof, and you damage yourself enough, you will by the time you can bandage yourself up, you might pass out or die. So there's that. Yeah, a lot of things will fuck your health up too. Prolonged exposure.
What's your favorite
impact
vehicle
trauma.
in the game?
My favorite vehicle?
Yeah.
The Ada.
The what?
The 8 4x4, the two-door Jeep.
The Jeep thing.
Yeah, the two-door Jeep.
Yeah.
It's loud as fuck though, which sucks.
Have you gotten the Humvee yet?
I did. I raided like a military thing one time and got one. I died shortly after, and then I just said, okay.
It's an automatic. It's the only one that I've come across. You don't have to shift that one. There's just a reverse neutral drive.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Oh, they changed that. Okay, that's good. I remember when that used to suck. When you used to have to put oil in the car,
Ugh.
they took that out. It's no longer required. You used to have oil, water for the radiator, and fuel for the gas. You used to have all that shit.
Yeah.
You'd run out. Yeah, so, by the way, car radiator, if it's completely empty, takes 5 to 6 plastic bottles, 4 canteens, 3 cooking pots, or a fourth of a jerry can filled with water.
Good to know.
And as shitty as it is, if you remove the radiator from a vehicle, all the water inside will disappear.
Yeah. I remember reading that one.
It didn't used to do that, but car batteries will still retain their charge.
Yep.
Yeah. I like the 8 though because it's really good for like off-road stuff.
Yeah.
And I like that one.
See,
I do like Gunter though. I do like the
games-
Gunter just because it's fucking Gunter.
See, I like if I'm choosing a car, I like the Olga because it reminds me of like the Impala from Supernatural, kind of.
That's fair.
At least
fair.
as close as you're gonna get in a Russian vehicle, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, my baby is the truck because I'm always a gatherer in all of the survival games that I play.
Yeah,
So
they still haven't added it yet, but they're supposed to be adding in a Little Bird helicopter at some point. They haven't added that in yet. They haven't added in the crop duster airplane yet.
oh man, they're adding in.
Webby plays all the time. What do you mean?
They haven't added in the van. It's supposed to be like a Volkswagen van, like a Scooby van.
Oh man,
I don't. Did they add in the bike yet? They haven't added in the bike yet. It used to be in there. I don't know. They're not adding that. It's removed from the files. It used to be in the game files. It was like a hidden file that was never implemented, and they were going to add it at one point, and they just didn't at this point. So they're not going to. Same with the bicycle. That's not going to be there anymore. The multi-car, which hasn't been implemented yet. So there's a lot of little fun stuff that's in DayZ.
yeah. We added a mod pack that adds additional vehicle types, but it doesn't work.
I still play Mini DayZ, which is a phone game.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like pixel art. It's similar to DayZ, but it's pixel art.
Alright.
I like it because there's no in-app purchases, which is kind of cool.
Robert, Donnie, do you have any questions for the DayZ expert?
No, not right now, honestly.
None that I can think of.
I got one, Devin.
Yep.
Why does Rob's game keep crashing? And he's the only one it's happening to.
That DayZ, I couldn't tell you. It's a shit optimized game when it's even not a shit optimized game.
But he's literally the only one crashing.
I know. I'm just saying it's a shit optimized game when it's not a shit. I mean, I guess we have to figure out why, like, what's happening when he's crashing. Like, are you noticing any issues before you crash, Rob?
Nope.
Are you getting a message when you crash, or is it just closing out?
It closes out, but it's like, oh, do you want to send a game report? Blah blah blah. Click here to fill it out. I'm like, I don't want to fill shit out. Bye.
I mean, the best thing I could probably tell you is update your NVIDIA drivers to the most current. If you have any antivirus software, turn that off. And if I doubt you have SLI or Crossfire on, but if you did have it enabled within the NVIDIA app or the AMD app, turn that off. It's the only thing I can think of.
Bringing Devin back to his IT days.
Yup.
All right. Well, we're over the hour mark, so.
Oh, and don't build a fire, like an open fire inside of a car tent.
Okay.
Didn't go well.
Does it set the tent on fire?
I did it when I did it. You can build a ghillie suit though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I gotta look up what it takes to make one of those.
Burlap sack.
It is
that's
10
netting.
burlap strips and 4 things of netting.
All right. I've been leaving all the burlap bags that I find.
You can also build an armband.
Yeah, we have those.
Yeah.
Out of a raincoat. I need to try to find a purple one for Rob.
You can build so you can build ones out of a raincoat, or you can build white ones out of rags. A rag and a sewing kit.
Gotcha.
Also, let me think. You can make sawed off Mosin and the Gaunt's, which are pretty cool.
I don't like the fact that you can't put an attachment on the Mosin.
But you can saw it off though.
Yeah, okay. That defeats the purpose of the Mosin.
I mean, it sucks the range and a much higher recoil.
I'd rather just saw off a shotgun.
I mean, you can do that too, but the thing with the Mosin is it lowers the range, has a higher recoil, and you get the higher wear and tear, so it's really not worth it. But
no, at all.
but
you get to say, yeah, I took a fucking rifle and sawed it off.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
that's all you get. You get bragging
somebody
rights
with a sawed off. I mean, it's not even a marksman. It's not even the marksman rifle. The marksman rifles are the VSD, if you can find one, and the VSS.
Mm.
And they got the SK-59x66, which is fun. There's also a grenade launcher. There's a battle rifle, multiple assault rifles, a shotgun. There's a Bison.
I know. I'm trying to find a grenade launcher because I keep finding those stupid grenades. So we built our base. I don't know if you have a map of the original.
They're rare. They're rare, but they spawn. They spawn at the military bases.
Yeah.
But they are rare.
Well, we decided we made camp in an airplane hangar up on the massive airfield that's in the middle of the map.
Yep.
So we're surrounded by a bunch of military stuff.
Yeah, I always manage to get things I usually grab. I'll usually put on a surgical mask or a dust mask for my character, just for general health purposes. I find more fun than the crafting personally. I like gardening.
That's Rob's
I like
job.
doing the horticulture.
Yeah.
It's always fun. Fishing is always fun too.
I haven't tried that yet.
Yep, you get a nice fishing rod and a fishing hook. You can go fish. You also can build fishnet traps and stuff, which are pretty cool. You can do fishing, which is always fun. I like fishing personally. If you get a rowboat, you can go out on the rowboat.
You can actually go out on a rowboat?
I believe you can. Or you can fish from the rowboat. I don't know if you can go out on it, but some of them are docked. Some of them are tied to the docks. So you can swim out to it and climb on it and then do it. But don't die. Don't die. That's the first part of DayZ. Don't die.
I just like driving around.
And if you find a tire repair kit, keep a tire repair kit.
Yeah, well, right now there's a glitch, I guess, going on because they're trying to overhaul what they're doing, how they're doing vehicles, and until they implement in one of the next patches, every runnable vehicle that you can find that you can fix up will have 4 good tires already. Not necessarily good quality, but they won't be ruined, and just driving around doesn't wear down your tires.
That's cool.
Yeah, until they implement, because you also can't you can't change a tire right now. There's a glitch happening where you just can't take them off the car and put new ones back on. So But all right,
Carjackers
well,
for
that's
what
where we're
it's
going to end this episode, talking about DayZ, and we talked a little bit about other stuff in the beginning there. Devin, do you have life advice this week?
Life advice is never eat with bloody hands.
That's good
Solid.
life advice. Rob, do you have a science corner?
Science corner is never eat with bloody hands.
Okay. I also have a science corner, if I remember how the guy worded it. I'm going to pose this question to Devin and Donnie, I guess. Do you know why it gets dark quicker in the wintertime?
Because Mother Nature likes to throw shade.
Because the sun goes down earlier.
Wow.
Yeah. Science.
Oh, look at the time.
Am I right?
I say science. I say Helios. Either one.
All right. So with that, Rob, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Confessor_X and on Twitch at twitch.tv/ConfessorX.
Do you want to plug your 2 weekly streams that you're doing now?
Sure. So on my Twitch, which I just gave you, on Mondays I'm doing It Takes Two with B, and on Wednesdays I do Overwatch 2 with a variety of people, usually Webby, B, James, Iris, and Stephanie. But anyone can join us usually. So yeah, those are both at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock on Monday, 3 o'clock on Wednesdays.
Okay. Devin, where can people find you on the interwebs?
People can find me on Twitter at DMP_Pookie. You can find me on Twitch at Mr. D3. And as always, you can find me on eBay buying gloves so nobody eats with bloody hands.
Donnie, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me never eating with bloody hands.
Oh, shit.
And at Jack's Forest Walker.
Damn it. God, I thought I was going to get away with it this week. Anyway, thank you for listening, everybody. As always, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Jack's Forest Walker, all one word, on Twitch at DM Webby, and on eBay at ripping holes, small holes in Devin's gloves. For funsies. Thank you for listening. We love you. Fuck Booster Gold. All that jazz. Ba-da-bow. That's a really cool picture, Donnie, that you sent me.
I thought so.
Bow. Ba-da-bow. Ba-da-bow.